Welcome back to Tired Old Queen at the Movies. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out all of the great movie merchandise below. And now let's go see the tired old queen at the movies, Steve Hayes.
Oh, Jelly! You know what? I thought we would do the best picture of 1932. MGM's all-star version of Vicki Baum's Grand Hotel, starring Greta Garbo, Joan Barrymore, Wallace Beery, Joan Crawford, Lionel Barrymore, and Fred Stone. Now, this was a project put together by Irving Thalberg, who was the boy genius at MGM at that time. And really, Irving Thalberg was the reason that MGM became the great studio that it was. He had incredible ideas. He was 35 years old, frail, sickly, innocuous sort of person, but a little genius up here. And he was the right-hand creative person. You know, Louis B. Mayer ran the studio and stuff, but Thalberg had the ideas. And Thalberg thought, let's do an all-star production and something that the audience can really sink its teeth into. So they got all of the biggest stars at MGM, and they got them all to do this. Now, Joan Barrymore plays a guy who's got a title. He's a baron, but he's broke.
I'm broke. No, you're joking. Isn't it odd?
So he gambles his money away, and he does anything. He's also a womanizer, and he gets women to pay for things. That's how he does things. And he's also a thief, a little bit of a thief. Greta Garbo plays an aging ballerina, Grushenka, and she is just so paranoid about dancing, and I'm too old. You know, she's just, and of course she looks amazing.
I've never been so tired in my life.
And she's the great star staying at the hotel. Wallace Beery is this industrialist. He's really corrupt. He has a family, but he likes to fool around when he goes on business trips.
We will leave my wife out of this function, please.
Sorry.
He's trying to get this merger together with his company, and it isn't really going very well. Lionel Barrymore is this Kringeline who worked for Wallace Beery's company all these years, and he's found out he's dying of cancer, and he's decided that he's going to spend a weekend at this hotel, and he's going to live a little bit before he has to die.
A short life, Baron, and a gay one. That's very true in my case.
Joan Crawford is Flamencian, and Joan Crawford is a stenographer that Wallace Beery hires, and he puts the move on her, and she's a game gal.
Please wait outside, please.
Yes, sir.
She's not above, doing a little thing to get herself up to the top. And she sort of flirts with Joan Barrymore. She's got the hots for Joan Barrymore, and they have this wonderful little back and forth interplay.
I suppose you'd take some dictation from me sometime, would you?
Then there's Fred Stone. Fred Stone, he plays the doctor, and who had his face horribly scarred in World War I.
Grenade on my face.
And he's ever the pessimist. Like at the beginning of the movie, he says, Grand Hotel.
People coming, going, nothing ever happened.
So basically the plot is all of these lives that come together, interchange, and leave at a certain time. And it really works out well. It was the best gamble that Thalberg could have asked for. Now, they were all personalities in their own right. Joan Crawford was making money by that time. Her movies with Clark Gable had really picked up. She was the original flapper, and then she changed into the girl from the wrong side of the tracks who made good. And she was building up.
Do I look like a baroness?
You're quite attractive enough to be anything.
Thank you, Baron.
Garbo had started in silence, was a huge star, made the transition to talkies with Anna Christie, and had that deep voice and that enigmatic quality. And so she was really at the peak of her stardom.
Cherie, it's you. No, nothing. Good morning, good morning.
Joan Barrymore was the great dramatic actor, the great lover, the great romantic lover. And he wanted so much to do this movie that he actually signed a 3-picture deal because he wanted to work with Garbo.
You could love.
I've never seen anything in my life as beautiful as yours.
Garbo wanted John Gilbert, who was her lover at the time, along with Mercedes DaCosta, whom she was sharing with Dietrich. Never mind. And at this point, Gilbert's career, his voice wasn't going well over for talkies, and he would only live a short time after that. She wanted him to play the part of the Baron, but they vetoed that, and they got Joan Barrymore, who she was excited to work with.
Strange man.
Am I so strange to you?
Maybe not so strange now.
Wallace Beery, who had been paired with Marie Dressler and Min and Bill and stuff, and he was sort of resentful. He was an old grouch, was what he was. Nobody liked working with him, but the public loved him. He'd made a movie with Jackie Cooper called The Champ, about a boxer who's at the end of his career who has to take care of his little boy, and it won him an Oscar. Tied with Frederick March in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde the same year. So he was a big money maker at that time as well. And they paired him up with Crawford. He walked off the set at one point and said, "I'm not going to act with her until she learns how to act."
I thought you were more of a coquette, not so ladylike.
Crawford, when you watch the movie, on the other hand, gives the freshest performance in the movie. This movie did a lot for Joan Crawford. It took her up to the very next level.
Well, you see, I have a rather nice figure, and I pose a lot. Art studies, you know. Like that? Got 10 marks for it.
Not quite as far enough as she wanted to go, because Thalberg, who produced it, was married to Norma Shearer. And Crawford always resented Norma Shearer. All the good roles went to Norma Shearer, and she got all the secondary stuff. That, of course, that animosity came together in the women.
So don't force any issues unless you want to cause plenty of trouble.
You've made it impossible for me to do anything else.
When they came time to shoot the Garbo scenes, Garbo was treated so reverentially. They closed the entire studio down. They put up walls. They put up all sorts of things because she didn't want anybody but the cameraman and the director to see her. Nobody else was allowed on the set.
It's not stage fright. It's something more.
What? What is it?
Lionel Barrymore said that Garbo was like a cat that runs out of the bed when you enter the room, that sums it up perfectly. This is the movie that has Garbo's most famous line, "I want to be alone."
Well,
I want to be alone.
She discovers Barrymore in her room. He's come to rob her. He sneaks in off the balcony, and she comes home early from the ballet because she refuses to dance. "I couldn't dance tonight." And she comes in and she finds him there, and he automatically just starts wooing her.
You're so beautiful. It tore my heart to see you in despair like that.
They end up in bed together. But the next day, she's so in love. It's just like 360 degrees. "Oh, of course I danced tonight."
Gru, you're positively radiant.
Enough.
You fall so in love with her. You fall under that Garbo mystique. A style, the camera just adored her. And she, like Marilyn Monroe in a way, they would say, "Oh, you couldn't tell she was doing anything." And then you'd go to the rushes and you'd go, "Oh my God, it's all right there. It's all right there." She would do the littlest thing and it would be right there.
How quiet it is tonight. It was never so quiet in the Grand Hotel.
Barrymore, this was one of the last great movies that he did before his alcoholism got the better of him and his career kind of went. Garbo stuck around. Garbo had more and more major hits after this. She did Conquest with Charles Boyer. She did Anna Karenina with Frederick March for David O. Selznick. She did Camille, which we've done on Tired Old Queen at the Movies, which I think is her masterpiece, Ninochka. This movie had the biggest premiere up to that point in Hollywood history. The Klieg lights, the whole idea of what we consider classic Hollywood was set by Grand Hotel. And they had to come in at opening night, they had to come up and they had to sign the register to get into the opening of Grand Hotel like you would, registering at a hotel. Garbo wouldn't come. Garbo didn't come. But Crawford was there, of course. Crawford was there.
Very sweet of you to come over. How are you? Glad to see you. Might have a nice sunburn. Will you register?
This movie made a lot of money, and because of this movie, David O. Selznick, who was Louis B. Mayer's son-in-law at the time, before he branched out on his own, he went right ahead and said, "Okay, if they can do this with a serious drama, let's do it with a comedy." And the very next year, they did Dinner at 8, which was the first all-star comedy, which we also did on TOQ with Jean Harlow and John Barrymore and Billy Burke and, Marie Dressler. It's just fabulous. I think that what the true MGM mystique is all about. You cannot beat Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, Wallace Beery, Joan Crawford, Lionel Barrymore, and Edmund Goulding's Grand Hotel.
Let's all go to the lobby.
That's why I was doing this.
Yeah, well, who watches you? You know, one of the things...
Ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat.